And so I will see you guys tomorrow. No cliffhanger again because, I don't know, I just don't have a cliffhanger today. See you guys! See you tomorrow! Hey! Oh my gosh, no!
Hey guys, welcome to my daily vlogs. Please subscribe.
Sipes, that's my comb! You can't destroy this. This is my beloved comb. My favorite comb. Oh, ew, it's so dirty. How long have you had this? Good morning, Mabuhay squad. How are you? Did you sleep well? I'm just admiring the beautiful day here. Gorgeous sunny day once again here in Metro Manila. Yes! Sahara is here, soaking up sun rays. Cypher already basked in the sun earlier. Yes, Ice, you're so cute. And if you're new to the vlogs, welcome to the daily vlogs. My name is Mikey Bustos. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this vlog and hit the subscribe button. Come join the Mabuhay squad. We will be your daily dose of positive vibes online. Alright, so for those of you who've read the title, you're probably here to figure out what is going on. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. I'll try to explain this as best I can, especially for those of you who might be wondering what is all of this about. Okay, so as some of you might know, I appeared on the Today Show on NBC, which, if you don't know and you aren't from North America, the Today Show is basically a major nationwide broadcast in the US and Canada daytime television show. And I was part of the segment hosted by Hoda and Jenna, and I was asked to take the viewers, those who watch the Today Show, around the Philippines. So it went up, I uploaded on this channel a BTS of that whole entire segment, and you guys were awesome with your amazing comments, but there were a few, I guess, newcomers who I'm assuming aren't Mabuhay squad, right? Usually I never respond to negative comments, but I don't know, I fell into the trolls trap just this one time. And one of the comments was trying hard to sound like native English speaker. Ha ha ha. Okay, so basically they were saying, oh, you're trying hard to have a North American accent. Okay, so for those of you who aren't Filipino or from the Philippines, and you're from somewhere else in the world, North America, and are wondering what is going on, I know you're confused. Let me put you into context. So one of the things I learned moving here is that if you can speak perfect English, if you're fluent in English, if you have an English accent that is sounding like you're from America or from Great Britain or Australia, it suddenly puts you in an entirely different upper class of people. And I know that might sound weird for those of you that aren't from the Philippines, but it's a social class thing. If you can speak fluent English, like an American, like they do in Hollywood movies and all the TV shows from abroad, suddenly you're elevated in status here. Don't ask me why that is. I mean, this is what I realized right away. When I first moved here, I remember I lived in a dormitory, right? In a hostel. They call it a boarding house here in the Philippines. I was in a room with all my boarding housemates, and on the first day that we hung out, they couldn't wrap their minds around the fact that I looked Filipino born here, I'm full Filipino, right? But I was speaking like an American. It was such a mind trip for them. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is here. And then also you have to keep in mind that the Philippines is not a first world country, it's a developing country. And so social class is a very big part of the world here, you know what I mean? So when a Filipino hears someone speaking English, suddenly they're in an upper class. People assume they had high education, people assume that they have money, that they're from a rich family perhaps, whatever it might be. So now that you know that, I do find here in the Philippines that when people born here in the Philippines try to speak or insert more English into their vocabulary. Now, mind you, English is one of the official languages here in the Philippines. People are educated and taught in English. Like friends will giggle and tease that person. Wow, you're like suddenly you're feeling upper class by speaking English. It's that kind of thing I've noticed. I realized that right away moving here. That sometimes people are shy to speak more English or to even try to pronounce Filipino words in a North American way or British way because they're afraid of looking like they're sort of stepping out of their place. Does that make sense? You Filipinos know exactly what I'm talking about. Help me explain. But yeah, so I do find this, and a lot of times Filipinos will see someone trying to speak English and bring them down for it. Like they're almost ridiculed sometimes, cause like, oh, you're feeling social, feeling rich, or feeling educated, as they say here in the Philippines. Like, who do you think you are? Like, be more authentic, be more your authentic self. Like, why are you trying to speak English and look more upper class? It's that kind of thing. But for us North Americans, we're like, wow, that's great, you're bilingual. That's so cool. Like, we appreciate you speaking English. So anyways, going back to this comment by this person, trying hard to sound like a native English speaker, ha ha ha. And then first of all, I had to clarify. I said, I'm born and raised in Canada. English is my first language. And in fact, I have to try hard to speak Tagalog. Like, I had to explain that I was born in English. I'm not trying to speak with a North American accent. This is how I learned English. It's my first language. It's not like Filipino is my first language and I'm trying to sound like an American. Anyways, this person wrote back and said, that's not my point. You may be born in Canada or elsewhere, but it's obvious that you sound like trying hard to imitate the way Westerners speak, which makes your mouth to twist a lot harder. Ha ha ha. Okay, so clearly this person still doesn't get the point, but I wanted to make this also a teachable moment. Whether or not this person is Filipino or not.
Hold up. So as you guys know, RJ is the FBI and he did a little bit of snooping. And turns out this guy is Filipino. Or at least he comments a lot in Tagalog on other Filipino related sites. See, I told you guys, this comment is a very Filipino thing to say. And the fact that he is Filipino makes this whole thing even more sad, which you'll see in a bit.
I do notice that here in the Philippines there are people who try to bring others down for attempting to speak English, for one thing. And how dare they change their accent because it somehow makes them more pretentious. Personally, I don't think that's a healthy thing. I tweeted this on Twitter, and currently, guys, it clearly hit a chord with people because it now has almost 15,000 likes, almost 500 quote tweets, and over 600 retweets. Like, clearly people are resonating with this. But anyways, do any of you in the Philippines agree with this? Of course, I do know that it stems from kind of like a cultural minority complex. For those of you who aren't Filipino, you won't understand this, but Filipinos, we have this minority complex. I'm assuming it's because, we've been oppressed. We're from an oppressed culture. Like we're a developing country. We've been conquered by different groups of people. And so generally Filipinos, we have this minority complex. And so because we automatically see ourselves as a culture or a nation that's less than other nations, when we see individuals trying to, operate at an equal level or status as other nations of the rest of the world, as first world nations, then a lot of times people might try to, they call it crab mentality, like bring those people who are trying to climb down. And it's a behavior that we Filipinos know we need to stop. And in fact, I don't think this is just a Filipino thing. I think all people, it's a human thing to want to bring people who are rising down. In this case, it manifests in the Filipino culture as trying to bring down those who are trying to climb up. So anyways, I found this entire thing interesting and worth addressing because, again, I felt like this was a teachable moment. Other people went on to address the comment, and I eventually saw where it was coming from because look, he also went on to say, I just think that maybe you are deluded into thinking that you would look and settle in when you imitate perfectly how English natives speaks. But think again, because you'd still end up as a second-class citizen in their eyes. Ha ha ha. So see, it stems from a hardcore belief that this person has that Filipinos are always lower class than the rest of the world, the North Americans. But I also am frustrated personally that this person doesn't realize that I'm not imitating. I mean, growing up in Canada, as a Filipino, right, it feels like I had integrated into society. I never felt like a second-class citizen. People respected me. In the workplace, I was promoted often. You know, made friends with all my bosses, and I did feel like, you know, just like everybody else. And I think Filipinos here might have a skewed perception of how Filipinos are viewed abroad. Only because we Filipinos, for those of you who aren't Filipino, are very sensitive. In case you don't know, Filipinos are super sensitive online. Like, if you want to be famous, call a Filipino a monkey or like a maid, because those hit certain chords with us. Because we do export a lot of, you know, helpers and caregivers, that kind of thing, nannies. And a lot of Filipinos are ashamed of that. But one beauty pageant contestant put it us perfectly, in my opinion. And she said something along the lines of, you know, we Filipinos migrate to other countries and we take care of others, of elderly people's kids, as if they're our own. And it's definitely something to be proud of. So addressing that nanny thing, being a nanny is a dignified job, in my opinion. And like, you guys already know my stance on the people who are cleaners or who are helpers. It's a dignified profession and it requires a certain type of skill. But yeah, it's that too. Like, Filipinos have this minority complex that we aren't known as being, I don't know, the doctors and lawyers and government leaders, right, of the world. Another thing that some people have brought up was that, oh, you're trying to play the sad victim now when you've made a whole career mocking the Filipino accent. Now, oh my gosh, I've got videos on this already. First of all, I don't mock the Filipino accent. My Filipino character in my Filipino comedy videos essentially started when I was imitating the way my parents speak. And if I was mocking the way Filipinos did anything, I could not possibly have a career based on that for many, many years, because I would have been canceled a long time ago, guys. If you really look at my work, it's not making fun of the Filipino accent. It's celebrating our uniqueness, which includes how we speak in a couple of the videos. My videos on the Filipino comedy channel and parodies are about Filipino pride. So again, like I said, Filipinos being as sensitive as we are online would have canceled me a long time ago. I would not have been able to build a career if I was mocking anything about the Filipinos, trust me. So that addresses that too. What do you guys think about the issue? Have any of you Filipinos experienced anything like this where you were mocked for trying to speak English, or you migrated, say, to another country and came back with some kind of like accent, like, oh, how dare you speak now with a British accent, you know, like, you're so pretentious. Have any of you experienced that? Let me know in the comments. Or are you from another culture that does something similar to this? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments, guys. All right, let's clear our energy, guys, with today's positive affirmation of the day for Friday, May the 21st. I rise above all limitations. I am divinely guided and inspired. Wow, so relevant to what we were talking about. I rise above all limitations. I am divinely guided and inspired. For those of you who feel like you're limited by whatever it is, by your skin color, the way you speak, your appearance, whatever, say this positive affirmation and feel it in your bones and in your soul, and may it become true to you Anyway, on this topic of, like the minority complex that exists, I do feel it's changing because, with the age of the internet, it's 2021 now, and I think the Filipino consciousness is evolving. Filipinos are realizing that we Filipinos also can be the leaders of the world. We've always been entertainers, right? Every Filipino knows which celebrities are Filipino or have Filipino blood in them, i.e. Bruno Mars, Nicole Scherzinger. It's just good that we have the internet now because we can actually see Filipinos around the world making it in the world and making a difference. And I think this will help change that mentality of Filipinos being second-class citizens, or at least I hope it does. And I do have high hopes in Filipino mentality and the abolishing of crab mentality within our global Filipino community. Anyways, last point I want to make is who cares what accent you have? Whatever. Seriously, it doesn't matter. As long as you can communicate. And you know what? I love accents. I find it adds a different flair or flavor to whatever language you speak. And if anything, it shows you're intelligent because you're bilingual. I know a ton of people who are not bilingual who wish they were bilingual. And you should be proud to have an accent, in my opinion. It really adds a nice touch to when you speak. I don't know, that's just me. And also to the troll who left that comment, I want to thank you for leaving that comment because, well, it led to this teachable moment and this vlog today. And I hope all of you who are watching this vlog learned a few things about it. And, if you maybe became self-aware that you might also be guilty of doing this very thing, hope it can inspire you to maybe be more self-conscious about it and change that behavior perhaps. I don't know. And for me, it was a lesson not to respond to the trolls. I don't know why I did, guys. I don't know. And of course, it's the internet. There will be people who disagree and just take offense. And people who don't see eye to eye. This is the world. Accepted. It's okay. Diversity is key. All right, guys. RJ and I have been working hard. RJ and I have prepared something special for the dogs to eat, and check out what we've given them. These dogs are so spoiled.